Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a new moon in Cancer reading for you. And this new moon was activated a couple of days ago, but it is still resonating with us primarily because of your resonance with the water sign Cancer. And this is affecting all of us who are redefining home, redefining what it means to have a new beginning that allows you to move on from the past. This is almost an emotional reset. It's surrendering to the past, releasing it, reflecting upon your individual power, your individual essence that you are building on new terms. So I'm going to start with a serpent wisdom oracle, and I love the beauty of these amazing paintings. And I pulled for you alchemy. Engage in the alchemy of life. Transform challenges to opportunities and create your own magic. Use your abilities to turn base experiences into valuable lessons, crafting a life filled with purpose and wonder. So this is a brief, albeit very limited summary of this emotional reset that you are experiencing. The emotions are becoming the guide. The intuition relies upon the feelings, not on the intellect, not on the mind. And it is the emotions that our experiences generate that we are healing in the effort to craft this life of purpose, this magic that belongs to you based on your experiences, particularly the challenging experiences, the traumas, the crises, the desperation that you may have felt, particularly now. So this is kind of looking for a way out or looking for a way through really relies on your ability to accept all the resources, all of the energies, all of the talents and gifts that you already have in your life, truly honoring those. And I've also pulled from the Crystal Spirit Oracle, Pyrite. I don't remember who got this, but each time I get this card, it causes a real pause in me to understand what is the alternative name for pyrite is fool's gold. So I'm going to read from the guidebook to get a little more clarity on what may be coming up for you at this particular moment. And the essential meaning is inherent value, knowing your worth, self-appreciation, self-worth, self-love, and genuine abundance and prosperity within. So that certainly is telling me that pyrite, often called fool's gold, is no different from the metal gold, except in its external valuation. It's still a metal, it still sparkles, it is still beautiful, it can still perform its value. But because we compare it to another value, an extreme value, it's often denigrated as though it's worthless. It has no value in and of itself. So we can correlate that to the way in which we're seen or valued, perhaps most specifically in our past, in a way that we're working through that through the discovery of our own magic, our own power. The prosperity message for Pyrite Spirit is Pyrite Spirit, also known as Fool's Gold, reminds us that there's great value in many aspects of our life beyond the material. This crystal is here to draw your attention to all that's valuable to you, support, love, resources to build on. You're being called to consider the riches you may be overlooking in your quest for more. Find the inherent value in what is yours, the memories, experience, and situations that have brought you here to the brink of a breakthrough. If you're willing to practice gratitude, move away from externally imposed systems of valuation to determine and appreciate what is valuable to you. Pyrite Spirit will show you how much you have now. So this is really beautiful. This is really focusing on this precise moment of time. And I realize all Scorpios are not at the same exact place, but many of you that are here with me are in a place of feeling exhausted through all of the efforts you've made to move something along, to advance, to progress. You may be feeling as though you're doing the same thing. You're working, you're devoting yourself, focusing on the work that you've created for yourself, and you're not seeing the kind of external advancement or benefit that you would have expected. So it's describing a particular time when the strength is within you. All that you need is within you, and it is a matter of altering your perspective and valuing who you are, your worth, your power in the present. The Judgment card. Wow, this is describing the current opportunity, and I believe the guidebook spoke about a breakthrough, and that's exactly what I'm feeling is here for you, Scorpio. It is here for you now. This sense of treading water or being at some kind of standstill, although you may be physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted from churning, applying yourself, enduring, persevering, is really about a complete alteration of the way that you now value yourself, your ability to move forward in the direction that is for you, the path that you're on, recognizing the really brilliant call to purpose that you have been responding to for some time. The more work you've done in this regard, the clearer and louder this call to purpose has become, so that there is no question in your mind that you've been on this path for for all of your life, without a doubt. But the wonder and the marvel of its unfolding is another element that is now accompanying this sense that I am where I want to be, I am where I need to be, I am where I have selected, chosen to be, and that I can trust in myself, I can trust in the universe to allow its benefit, its advancement, its rewards to emerge as I trust, as I'm patient, as I'm willing to wait. So if for many of you this can represent a do-over or an opportunity to renew or refresh something, for many of you that refreshment is particularly focused on the talent that you have been working so hard to employ, engage, that you use to participate in making a contribution to the world. In the past, the King of Swords. This feels like your gift, Scorpio. Your gift in telling your story, in articulating your experience, and in being curious, how your curiosity becomes a leadership resource for you, a way that you can draw people in, you can establish trust with others, because you're not just looking to gain more, to have more. You're looking to where the knowledge, the language, the skill you have in opening up to new ideas, even in innovating, in pursuing the truth, where is that leading? This pursuit of truth is the pursuit of justice. And I know that swords in general is about illumination, but the truth is about the bounty of the world. That is the truth. And you are employing that on a personal level. You're articulating that in some way. You're revealing some cultural inheritance that you have benefited from, that you now understand something that looked difficult, that looked hard, that looked incomprehensible, that made no sense, is not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be experienced. The joy in all that there is, the world has to offer, and how we can collectively employ that, see that, appreciate that. And in the future, we have the Five of Pentacles, and this immediately tells me that you are graduating to a new field of activity, a larger field of activity. This shows me that perhaps your family of origin, your life of modesty, humility, or frugality, limited resources, staying in that lane, is really opening up to a larger field where, in many ways, a different mindset, because you are a different person. You're now evaluating the things that don't translate into material benefit or money or wealth or prosperity, how those things can produce the same sense of abundance and wealth, the same sense that recognizes the universe is a bountiful one, and that the earth gives us more than enough of what we need. And what this revelation implies for your efforts, for your path, for humankind in general. But I see you touching more lives with whatever your work is, having greater impact or influence over others that may be much further afield or in a place that you did not realize your influence could touch. If this reading is resonating for you, Scorpio, please like this video. Please share it with others if you feel inclined to do so. Subscribe to my channel, please, Pacific Tarot. I really appreciate all of you for being here, for supporting me in all the ways that you do. And the King of Pentacles, wow. I'm going to take the two cards that are showing, which are the King of Pentacles and the Death card. And it's interesting, the Ace of Swords is clarifying judgment, and the Three of Cups. And the Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Five of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and I'm going to take the World card, even though I would consider that an extra. So, in fact, I'm going to put it here. So in the past, the King of Swords is clarified by another king that talks about mastery. So your gift, you are able to express that gift at a level of mastery. It doesn't mean that you know everything. It means that you've come to a very full and complete expression that you're able to concretize, you're able to manifest. So whatever you do, that translates into resources you can hold, a craft that you can experience, that you practice, that is a part of your routine, that is a part of your existence in a way that benefits you and many others. So the Death card is indicating to me that you are releasing the insistence on material reward. You are recognizing that the mastery of your craft goes far beyond what your paycheck says or what your hourly fee registers, that you recognize that the benefit, the practical implication of your story, your words, your gift moves you, is transforming not only you, but it's transforming others. And the message seems very clearly to be about this release of expectation around where you should go, how you should be seen, or what you should have. And that's some really hard patterning to release because of where we live, because of the kind of world that celebrates vapid celebrity, people that are famous based on the way they look, certainly based on what they have. So this is a phenomenal transformation, and you're not alone in this, but your work indicates to me that you've been working towards the valuation of higher values, of abundance on greater terms than financial. And as is so often the case with you, Scorpio, the sense that you are aware of this phenomenal bounty we live in and amongst is really part of the purpose, part of what you're waking up to, part of the truth that you're communicating to others. And in the present, the Judgment card is clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Three of Cups. So truth, 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 revelation, illumination, the pursuit of difficult truths, of hard truths. And despite how hopeful and how spiritually aligned this message is for us, Mercury is retrograde. And the truths that you are illuminating are very difficult for us to see, hear, truly understand in a culture that judges us on the basis of what we have, what we look like, how many people we know, what school we went to, whether we're educated or not. There's so many external circumstances that are driving the way we are encouraged to be, quote, successful. That's air quotes. And yet, this truth is binding you more deeply together with those loved ones, the support, those alliances that you have, those alliances that not only support you in uncovering this phenomenal truth that has absolutely direct bearing upon the global crises that we are in at this moment, but you are loved for your willingness to see the truth, for your pursuit of that, for your greater understanding of all the other bounty that exists, all the abundance that exists that we benefit from every day. How we have magnified our talents, how we have magnified the service that our talents compel us to deliver to others. The focus on learning from the experiences of others, being vulnerable with others so that they too can understand some of what you've learned along your pathway, learning from others, or just being open, holding space for others that are experiencing difficulty. But the way you hold that space is very different. The way you hold that space comes without expectations. And this is part of what you're giving to yourself. What prosperity, what success, what abundance, what joy looks like is emerging in each moment. And that's something you're opening up your heart to. In the future, the Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Five of Cups and the Nine of Wands. This is interesting because what is emphasized so often, particularly for those of us that have struggled with abundance, with survival at a certain level, with persevering, making ends meet, not feeling as though there is enough, scarcity as a price of our independence, particularly. So, yeah, you've made some bad choices in the past, and you've learned to value yourself as one fully capable and magically abundant enough to give yourself what others have not been able to. You recognize that that was your pattern. It wasn't something you can blame others for. You chose those experiences at some level knowing, at least subconsciously, that they couldn't give you what you wanted. And that sense of heaviness and loss and sorrow, even of at times anger or bitterness or frustration that you couldn't have been treated more respectfully at the very least. But that sense of loss really hangs in with you, a little bit of regret, despite how much you are learning. And you are the sense of struggle, that everything is hard, that you have to throw yourself into every effort you make, that you have given yourself over to projects with others and been betrayed, and then picked yourself up again and done it all over again, believing, knowing that you're going to reach that goal, but also depriving yourself of real trust in yourself because you've walked into so many situations that have burned you. The reason I kept the World card is because it is definitively showing an end to this pattern, to this cycle, to the sense of not being enough, this experience of abandonment, this experience of rejection, this idea that everything is so hard. I need so much energy to keep going. I'm so alone in that. I can't really trust who's going to help me in that. That is ending. That is part of what is graduating you. I can't think of another word, to this new, larger field of endeavor, activity, and I might add results, benefits, material benefits. Isn't that the irony? So I'm so glad that this is resolving itself in this way for you. In the future, you've been working on this for a long time. You've been aware, you've been gradually evolving, allowing yourself to reconsider your patterns, to look at those closely. You, of all signs, understand that your shadow, your subconscious, your fears are your friends. And that alone means that you don't back away from these difficult feelings. You are honest with yourself about how much you hold on to still, how much you regret still, even if you're not putting language to that customarily, even as you are understanding that this attitude, this perspective has to be released. So I am going to finish up this incredible reading, Scorpio, with a crystal oracle. And, I am going to take the azurite because it always reminds me of lapis lazuli, which I associate with the third eye and your soul's seat, your higher self. My awareness is expanding with an abundance of clarity. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for this powerful reading. I am moved. And until next time, namaste.